You open a guide to Claude Code, and by the second line, you're drowning. Tokens, context window, model, agent, LLM. 5 words you have never used, and the guide acts like you already know all of them. So you close the tab. And you get that sinking feeling that this whole thing just isn't for you, that everyone else got a memo you missed. Here is the truth. Those words are not hard. They are not even technical, not really. Nobody ever explained them to you in plain language. Nobody drew you the picture. So that is what we do right now. By the end of this video, you will read any Claude Code guide and not trip on a single one of these words. No memorizing. For each word, I give you a simple picture, and at the end, a cheat sheet you can screenshot and keep. And one thing before we start, so you can relax. This is not a lesson you have to sit and memorize. Think of it as a small map you glance at, not a test you have to pass. For pictures, that is all I am handing you. We take the scary words one at a time. And here's the good news. There are really only 4 that matter. Token, context window, model, agent. 4. That is the whole list. Why bother learning them at all? Because these 4 words answer the 2 questions every single beginner asks. Why does Claude sometimes forget what I told him at the start? And why does he sometimes get a little dumber the longer we chat? By the end, you will know exactly why. And what to do about it. Let's go. Word 1. Token. When you type a sentence, you read it as words. Claude does not. Before he reads anything, your text gets chopped into small pieces. Those little pieces are called tokens. Think of a box of Lego. A sentence is not one solid block. It is snapped together from little pieces. A short, common word is often a single piece. A longer or rarer word gets split into 2 or 3 smaller ones. The word playing might be one piece for play and another for ing. That is all a token really is. A small piece of text. Why should you care? 2 reasons. First, Claude thinks in these pieces, not in letters and not exactly in whole words. Second, and this one is about your wallet. Everything is counted in tokens. What you send him is tokens. What he writes back is tokens. A short question is a few pieces. A long file you paste in is a whole lot of pieces. When a plan says you get so many tokens, it is really telling you how many of these little pieces you get to use in a month. You heard that word thrown around in the pricing video. Now you actually know what it is. So, token, a Lego piece of text. That is word 1. 3 to go. Word 2, the context window. This is the big one. Get this and Claude stops being a mystery. Picture your desk, a real physical desk. When you work, you spread things out on it. Notes, papers, the thing you are reading right now. The desk holds a lot, but not everything. Your whole conversation with Claude lives on a desk just like that. Every message you send, every answer he gives, and every file you show him, all of it sits on the desk so he can see it while he works. That desk is the context window. It is his working memory for this one chat. The papers are your conversation. The desk is how much of it he can hold at once. Now, the desk is big, very big, but it is not infinite. And here is what happens when it fills up. New papers keep landing on the desk. At some point, there is no more room. So the oldest papers, the ones from the very start of your chat, slide off the far edge and drop on the floor. Gone, off the desk. And that, right there, is the answer to our first question. Why does Claude forget what you said at the beginning of a long conversation? He did not get lazy. The start of your chat literally fell off the desk to make room for the new stuff. He is not ignoring you. He just can't see it anymore. You can watch this happen for yourself. In your editor, there is a little panel that shows how full the desk is. It fills up as you talk. When it is getting near the top, That is your warning. The desk is crowding. So what do you do when the desk is full? 2 simple moves. Move 1. Start a fresh chat. A new chat is a clean, empty desk. If you are switching to a totally new task anyway, don't drag the old mess with you. Open a new one. Everything clears. Move 2. There is a command that tidies the desk for you without losing your place. It sweeps all those papers into one short summary note and puts just that note back on a clean desk. You keep the important stuff. You get your room back. And one honest tip that most guides skip: you do not have to wait until the desk is buried to the top. A lot of people find that Claude does his sharpest work while the desk still has some breathing room and gets a little foggy once it is packed to the edges. So tidying up early, before it is totally full, often keeps his answers sharp. And that is our second question answered: why he gets a little dumber late in a long chat. The desk just got too crowded to think on. Context window. Your desk. That is word 2. We are halfway there. 2 words left. And these 2 are quick because you have basically already met them both. Word 3. The model. The model is the brain doing the thinking. And when you read LLM in a guide, do not panic. It is the exact same thing. LLM just means the model, the brain. Same idea, fancier letters. Here is the one thing to know. There isn't just one brain. There are a few of them, and they come in sizes. A bigger brain is smarter but slower, and it costs more. A smaller brain is faster and cheaper, and plenty smart for the easy jobs. It is a bit like picking a big truck or a small scooter. The right one depends on the trip. Which brain to pick for which job is a whole video on its own, and it is the next one. For now, just this. Model equals brain. Word 4. The agent. You met the agent back in the very first videos, remember? An agent is not just a chatbot that answers you. It is a worker. It can actually do things for you. Create files, fix them, get the job done. A normal chatbot talks. An agent acts. Claude Code is the agent. The model is its brain. The context window is its desk. See how they all click together? And 2 bonus words, so nothing in a guide can scare you again. You might bump into API. Ignore it for now. It is just a wire that lets 2 programs talk to each other. You do not need it yet. And prompt simply means the message you type to Claude. That is all it is. Okay, screenshot this next part. Here is your whole cheat sheet on one screen. Token, a Lego piece of text. Claude thinks in pieces, and everything is counted in them. Context window, his desk. Your whole chat sits on it, and when it is full, the oldest part falls off. That is why he forgets. And why a fresh chat or a quick tidy fixes it. Model, the brain, also called an LLM. It comes in sizes. Agent, a worker that does not just talk. It gets the job done. That is Claude Code. 4 words. That is the whole wall of jargon that scared you off at the start. Remember that sinking feeling on the second line of the guide? It is gone. Now open any guide and watch how much of it suddenly makes sense. I am building this whole path from zero, one video at a time. It is a course playlist. Subscribe so the pieces land in order. And that brain we talked about, the model, there is more than one. And the wrong one wastes your money and your time. Which brain for which job is next? It is right here.